23 years old, and I do have a nickname that I like to go by. It's Denny. It's actually I changed my identity when I came here. I wanted to be somebody else. I wanted to leave the past behind and start all over. And my real dad, he got involved with gangs and he got into drugs. He was actually smoking. He was smoking weed. My mother eventually came in from work, and she was really, really mad. My mom asked him if he wanted to get rid of that or be with the family, be with us, be with the children. And I do remember him saying that he didn't want nothing to do with us. He wanted to stick with his gang and he loved drugs. It was hard at the time not to have a father, a role model, someone I can look up to, and by him making that decision made me feel like he was a nobody. After the year was over, my mom happened to met my stepdad. They met through work. First time I met him was on Mother's Day. That happened the day that my stepdad brought us back to the United States. TJ and Malibu was a whole different environment. It's different. And Malibu was really rich, high class, big houses, very expensive things, cars, just everywhere you look, restaurants. I was probably 9, maybe 10. I guess we had bad manners. We didn't have table manners. We did just barely came back from TJ. We hardly took a shower every day, maybe twice a day. It was more like once a week or maybe every other week. We're little kids. We don't know any better. So the best way that he thought we would learn would be to be on our own. And we didn't look at it negative. We just, we were mad. We wanted to be with them. For I don't know what reason, there was one night where I couldn't sleep, and I decided to go for a walk. So I got my stuff. My brother was sleeping. I got off, left the motorhome, and I actually went up the hill where my mom and my stepdad were living at. So I went up the hill, looked at the stars, looked around. It was dark. There's no electricity. There's no lights. There's no street lights. There's nothing. It is pitch black. I do hear some screaming or crying, and it's already late. It was already like 12 or 1 at this point. I start going to the house so I can see everything. They were in the kitchen, and I saw my stepdad hitting my mom. And when I saw that and I saw her crying and I saw her arguing, like they were arguing, like I was thinking, who's gonna help her? Whoa, what's going on? They make it seem like everything is perfect during the day, but there's a lot going on at night. There was so much anger in me that came out of nowhere. I was just mad. I started grabbing rocks. There's a lot of rocks everywhere. And I actually, with the rock, I started hitting on the door, on the window glass door. And then they actually stopped for a second. And then I see my mom. She was crying. She was upset. I think she was holding him. And then he let go, and he turned around, and went to the kind of washed his hands or something. I don't know what it was. And then she looked at me and she put her head down and she started running towards me. It's like, you should be in bed. I don't know why you're doing up. I'm like, well, what's going on here? I don't. And then she's like, don't worry about it, everything's fine. And I was like, I told her that nothing's fine. So I grabbed the rocks and I'm gonna start breaking everything in this house. So, that was a bad day, bad night.
Well, we are extremely proud of Danny. I actually met Danny when I first came to WTLC. I was the director of the outreach program. I'm Rocio Watson. I'm the executive director of WTLC. I've been with WTLC for the past 5.5 years. WTLC happens to be the largest domestic violence shelter in Orange County, the 3rd largest in the nation. It is also the only domestic violence shelter that serves the human trafficking population. We have a very strong substance abuse program, which makes us the only domestic violence shelter with a dual program. We work with folks who have mental health issues, severe mental health issues. And we're also one of the few domestic violence shelters that is able to accommodate large families and teenage boys over the age of 13, which in Danny's case, when he came in, typically he would have been 15 at the time. His family, his mom would have had a very difficult time finding a shelter that would be able to accommodate her family because of Danny's age and gender, which is unfortunate. But WTLC took that first step and being open to work with older boys, and we are now the pioneers in that. And most often, families like Danny will come to WTLC first because we're the only ones that can accommodate them.
Yeah, you know, family, like mother reaction, brother reaction, having our own room, just able to go sit down, have a dinner with the family, just be able to sit down on the couch and watch regular TV and not worrying about who's gonna come in the house and who's gonna do all these things that we had to see. So being on our own and WTLC giving us the opportunity to just give us that extra hand, be like, you know what, we can help you and you can make it, and there's nothing wrong. There's, you know, we had our own little desk, we obviously our homework, we still had to go to school, we still had responsibilities, and it was amazing. It was awesome. Being able to sit down, coming from school, and having that back of your head that you're going to school and you're actually going to your house. We treated it like it was our own house, and we actually bought the house. Giving that warm feeling that you have something to come back to, something to come back home to, and be able to see outside and other kids, making it seem normal. The whole idea was in our heads, like it was normal, and it was the biggest step in our lives. And the funny thing was, little by little, we realized that we were accomplishing everything. We were making it on our own. And who can take that away from you?
I absolutely love working with the families and just seeing the progress that they make. Watching a lot of our kids grow up here and see them down, you know, years down the road when they come back and tell us how they're doing. You know, we've actually shaped many lives. I mean, we have people in our community now that are now teachers or counselors, helping families that were in very similar situations to the ones that they were when they came in here. So it's extremely rewarding. It's an honor for us to be able to work with these women, with the families, and to see them really do well, and to plant that seed in those children that domestic violence is not okay, and they have a right to come home and feel safe and feel loved and nurtured.
How does a child endure domestic violence, verbal abuse? When you see that child, you see what he has seen, you see what he has been through, see what his mother has gone through, and at an early age. I mean, how do you explain that to somebody? How do you comfort that child? How do you tell the mother that it's going to be okay? How do you tell somebody that? You can't. It takes time, and it's not an easy step, but it's the first step. I could have gone on and be a gangbanger or just do the wrong things and maybe go steal just for that, to have the things that I wanted. But WTLC made me realize that that's not the way to go, and it's not the right thing to do, and there's better things in life than going that route. It's learning how to talk about it, letting it go, and learning from it. And learning from it and letting it go was the hardest things to do. But it was the best option because it made me realize it made me stronger as a better person. It really did. And I thank WTLC for that. I really do. To see where I'm at and what I've accomplished and what I've been through, and when I do thank them, I feel like I'm being selfish because I feel like it's not enough. They've done a lot. They have done, in 2.5 to 3 years, they have done a lot for me. It's amazing what they do here. It's really amazing.